The video you're about to see may seem a little bit redundant considering I just posted a video a few days ago called something like Shooting Log Flat and LUTs All Suck, so it's all kind of the same general idea. This goes into a lot more detail, especially on the technical side. It's something that I had shot many months ago, but I didn't ever get around to editing it, and initially I was dissatisfied with it. The problem is it has a lot of good information in it that I don't just want to go to waste. I have tried to cut it down to keep it as short as possible while still covering the original amount of ground I had intended, so it's a good watch, but it will take you a little while to get through it. If you are willing to brave it out, then I thank you for doing so, and I hope you learn a lot. There will be more information on this topic in the future presented in a different way that should be a little bit more understandable for those who aren't so technically inclined with photo and video nonsense. Hope you enjoy the video.
Stop doing this. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look professional. It doesn't look filmic. It looks bad. You don't have an expensive camera. Stop doing this. Please, for the love of God, stop shooting flat. I know that you read some tutorial somewhere. You saw some guy on YouTube who said, hey, if you shoot flat, everything will look like it's on film. It'll look professional. It'll look all Hollywood and stuff. You'll be able to take that camera you bought for $600 or $700 and you'll be able to make it look like a $10,000 cinema camera. That's not how it works. When you shoot flat, you damage your footage. You are throwing away image information that you need to make your picture look good. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I have an assortment of things here that have colors to them. I have on this maroon shirt. There's a pillow back there that's a very vibrant color of red. I have this red bag, although this red is supposed to be kind of dull as it is. This book has a title, which you may or may not be able to see. I have a black microphone, a translucent wine glass, full of what I'm going to consume after I get done with this, because I can't believe people are still doing this. Whenever you turn stuff down, it looks bad. Very bad. By now you're probably a bit confused because you're a newbie, you're in the world of LUTs magically fixing everything and shooting flat being chic. You probably love bokeh while you're at it because you know what, I got this DSLR and I can make everything so the depth of field is smaller than, yeah. Here's what happens whenever you shoot flat. You're taking the information that would normally be placed in those 8 bits. You're cutting down the saturation, you're cutting down the contrast, you're cutting down the sharpness. The sharpness is a different issue, but let's focus on the contrast and saturation. When you reduce contrast, what you're really doing is taking information that is very different and making it less different. Contrast is a difference in levels. So you've got 8 bits, but if you push the contrast really far down, you may actually only be recording 6 bits worth of actual difference. Later, you're going to pull that back out from 6 bits to 8 bits. Just as an example, what does that do? Well, you've reduced your number of possibilities to 64, but you've stretched them out to 256. But the extra 4 times as many possibilities are gone. You get the idea. Since it can only jump by 4 levels instead of 1, you're going to get a band. You're going to get this boundary where the 2 colors don't work. Instead of that nice smooth grade where you've got this ramp sort of look to it, you have this stair step. It just goes like that. Look, I'm dancing trying to explain this to you. That's how bad it is. I can't dance. Oh, but what about log? Oh, you can shoot log and it just records with a different curve. It doesn't lose information. It actually gains information. You get more dynamic range and stuff if you shoot log. Just need to load that CineStyle up into your camera. Yeah, okay. CineStyle. I hate CineStyle. Let's go into CineStyle. Let's talk about CineStyle. Why does CineStyle exist? CineStyle exists to go with Technicolor's process. You are not supposed to use CineStyle to make your Canon T3i look like it was shot on film. That's not what it's for. CineStyle's not supposed to be used that way. Don't do it. It doesn't help. You get like half a stop of extra dynamic range, but you throw away a bunch of color information. Now, I'm sure you've heard of shooting log and all that kind of stuff, and you're wondering, like, well, CineStyle's log, it's not flat, it's log. So why would CineStyle cause my footage to look worse? It's just log, bro. It's just a curve change. It just makes it so that you can get more of the shadows and highlights. So you can see more of that detail. You can rescue that detail that's being crushed away in the top and bottom of the curve. It pulls more of that detail out. You increase the amount of data stored for shadows and highlights by crushing down the amount of data in your midtones. It then becomes the same problem. You've got these levels that don't cleanly go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a smooth gradient. So you've got this face. You've got this face here, right? You've got this beautiful face, and it has these curves. Because I'm so large, so I have these nice big curves, and my cheekbones have been consumed by hair here. But here's the thing. You need these curves to look smooth. You're going to get that stair-step effect. Banding. Now you have defined lines, or, in the more common case with skin, the plastic skin tone look. You get this thing where the skin never color corrects back the way it's supposed to. And you can't quite figure out why. Well, here's the reason why. It's not that you're not correcting it back to the right color. It's that you've thrown out the subtle detail. So now you have large areas of this skin here that's supposed to be gradient that is now flat. So there are these bands of flat color. You've thrown away the information. The changes are gone. They will never come back. The only way to get them back would be to go in there with a little brush and smooth your face out. But then you're doing that to every frame. You're photoshopping your entire film. Even at 24 frames a second, it's going to take forever to do that. You're not going to do it, and it won't look right anyway. It will look unnatural no matter what you do. Want to know how you can tell that something was shot flat on a camera that can't handle it? All you have to do is look at the colors. The skin will have a plasticky sort of look, kind of flattened. You might see some unnatural looking color choices, because here's the thing. This right here, these all have these subtle grades. And what will happen if I shoot them flat and then I try to bring them back to normal, that's the other thing we'll get to in a minute, is that you will no longer have the grades. So it will look flat. It will look unnatural. So how do you cover up the fact that you ruined your footage and now this table looks unnatural? You make everything look a little unnatural. You make the colors pop. You make them vibrant. You make it look like it was a choice rather than a mistake. And in doing so, everything looks oversaturated. It doesn't look quite right. But it looks like it was intentional, like it's stylistic. And so some people, not all, will be able to give you a little bit of a pass on that. Problem is, it still looks like crap because you shot it flat and you shouldn't have. When can you shoot flat or log and it not be a problem? That camera right there is a Panasonic G7. That camera can't shoot flat or log without loss. If you go out and you get a Canon 80D, ADD, if you go out and get a Canon 80D, it's still going to have that problem. Go out and get a 5D Mark III, same problem. You require 10-bit color depth before you can even think about shooting flat or log and recovering the information that you're throwing out. Why? Because if you're throwing out 2 bits worth of information to store 2 bits of information somewhere else that you're just going to crush back away again anyway, you have to have more latitude to do so. If you have 10 bits, you can afford to chop a bit off each side. You can afford to take an extra bit on each side for shadow and highlight information, then crush it back, because you haven't reduced the amount of information for midtones stored down enough that it will be less than what 8 bits can store. 10-bit footage is the minimum. If you have a camera that is a minimum of a Panasonic GH5, which can do 10-bit output no problem, then you can use flat or log shooting effectively without destroying your footage. If you go out and buy a $10,000 cinema camera, you might have a chance at doing that too, if it can store 10 or 12-bit footage. If it stores 8-bit output files, it won't make a difference. $10,000 camera that stores 8-bit output files is still an 8-bit camera and still can't shoot flat or log without loss. Sometimes you can make it work, but wouldn't you rather have it look good? So what's your solution for your $500 camera, since you can't possibly afford a camera that can shoot flat or log properly? Shoot normally. Get it right in camera. You need to get your footage in any camera that can't shoot 10-bit or higher. You need to get it as close to your desired result as possible. By doing so, you'll be able to have more latitude in post. Your video won't look like garbage whenever you correct for the mistake that you've made. And you'll just generally be a happier filmmaker with a lot less effort in post. Plus, as an added bonus, when you look at that little LCD screen, you can actually see what you're going to get in the final product on the screen. But whenever you shoot flat and you have to take that information and stretch it really hard, you see more noise, you've lost your color in the midtones, there's all kinds of problems that you're going to run into. Banding, macro block compression, I can list off all kinds of stuff. I've posted forum comments ad nauseum about this issue, and I thought it was high time to make a video about it, because too many people are misinformed about this situation. Don't shoot flat. Don't shoot log. It looks bad. Your footage will look bad. You will feel bad. It will cost you hours or even days of your life correcting it in post. You may not be able to correct it. Just get it right in camera. That should be your mantra. Get it right in camera. Also, a secondary one. Test. Don't trust. Take footage. Look at the footage. Put it in your editor. Take it over to that computer and edit it. Point it at a thing that's similar to what you want to shoot. Take the footage, edit it. If it looks good, you're good. If it doesn't look good, you're not good. But you know that you're not good before you commit something you cannot afford to reshoot to that SD card sitting in that camera. I'm Jody Bruchon. This is your enlightenment. Welcome to a world that isn't flat. Sincerely, the Flat Earth Society.